Joe, I think in the prior forum of that I was there at, you said that you agreed with the decision to close the schools, and that's still your position, I assume. You also said that you don't support investing in shiny things. One layer deeper, I'd like more specifics from you on what kinds of things. The school and the school system is not out of the woods yet on financial matters. The challenges are still on the horizon, even with the closing of 2 schools. So, can you give us more specifics on the kinds of things that you feel the school board should be cutting costs on that are not shiny things? For example, charging private schools for the $900,000 it costs to bus kids that the public pays for to private schools. I mean, is that something you would support, considering chargebacks? And follow-up is, what would the cost of a forensic audit be?
Thank you for your question. So, if I missed anything, please let me know. Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. The first part of your question was that back in the forum, I had spoken that I support the decision to close schools, and I still support that decision. I support that decision for a variety of reasons. Number one being our declining enrollment. We just are not having kids attend the schools that we used to. I spoke to the superintendent the other day, and I believe the incoming kindergarten class is only like 215. So there are no projections. There is nothing out there showing that we're going to be gaining students. So while I would like to close a school, I don't think any of the board members wanted to close a school. I truly believe that. I saw the heartache in every single one of their eyes when they had to make that decision. It was not an easy decision. So I see that. The declining enrollment is one. The declining per pupil funding that has happened, that has not kept pace since 2009, has created issues as well. Also, our spending has created issues with it. So it was a perfect storm, for lack of a better term, to happen. And I really wish we weren't in this position. Districts all over the state, all over the nation have had to deal with this, and it's not fun. It's not a fun place to be. But leaders step up and they make tough decisions, and that's what they needed to do. While I supported their decision to close schools, I did not support the way they went about it. One thing that I've learned throughout my whole career is that if I don't know something, I'm going to go out and I'm going to find the answer and find out how to do something. What I mean is that with the school closures, it was just, all right, let's close schools and let's see what happens next. What I would have done is I would have reached out to the districts across Wisconsin that have recently gone through this, found out what has worked, what didn't work. It's called, in the military and the Air Force, we used to call that an after-action report. You go there, you find out exactly what happened, So that way you can learn from other people's mistakes so you don't do the same thing going forward. Regarding, and I'm sorry if I'm going long, I just want to make sure I kind of get to everything.
I was trying to get at not just the decision that we're all living with, and I think everyone here feels the pain of the closure of the schools, especially in Holton.
Correct.
But more about what additional expenses should the school system be looking at? And one of the things you threw out was the forensic audit, which I assume is not a free thing. So how much would that cost?
So it depends on how what you want them to look at. I haven't looked at the specific cost for one, so I can't say that I've looked at the specific cost, how that works. But what I have looked at is how these firms, they specialize in seeing how our spending is working, how our spending patterns are, what is tied to actual effective resource allocation, and just looking around our schools. When I talked about shiny things, I talked about 8-foot letters that say rock at EP rock. That the superintendent went ahead and said, I think these cost $18,000 because they were in the bid. Well, I can tell you, saying it's in the bid is not good enough. When we were closing schools, we need to know where every single dollar is being used. Okay? As far as cuts go, first, I'd stay away from classrooms. Stay away from teachers, stay away from people that are directly impacting our students every day. We need to look at our administrative overhead to see where we have redundancies in operations and how to dig that back further. To ensure that everything is aligned with, you know, educational outcomes, improving the way our kids learn. I hope I answered your question. If there's more, I'd love to try to get to it. I'm sorry.